Hi everyone, welcome back to the Clueless Dad. Today we have the MamaRoo by 4Moms. This is a motorized baby chair that has multiple modes that can help rock your kid to sleep. And this one I actually got as a gift from a friend secondhand. So they've actually already opened it and repacked it. Let's hope everything is back in the original spots and we can figure everything out. And so let's take a look inside. Okay, so that wasn't that bad. There's not too many pieces to it. It wasn't packed up perfectly, but based on the instructions, which I checked up online before I opened it, everything should be here, and it's pretty simple. So let's get this guy hooked up. So first of all, you have this kind of main arch, which slides in from the back, and there's a lever lock in the back. And so just slide this guy in. And there's this brace end piece, which locks in. And now there are two kind of side arches which form the side of the chair, and these are labeled A and B. And so this corresponds to A and B on the labels here. And this all locks in with these pins. These pins, which then lock into these holes. So the key thing here is there's a zipper, half a zipper here on the top edges of this. And so that connects to the inside of the chair. So there are snaps here on the inside of this seat, which should snap in on the ends. And then let's get our zipper started. Okay, so there are some clips in here which will clip onto these straps, which are connected on the bottom arch. So you have to fish these through the seat and then clip on. So this is your kind of typical nylon webbing backpack type clip. And there you go, that's your seat. Keep your kid in securely, and you can adjust those from here. Okay, so that's the basics of the seat, and now there's this thing which basically slides in and rotates. I don't know if I really like this one that much. Okay, so it only took about 5 minutes to get it put together. I also have left over this, which is the newborn insert, which basically fits on here, and I guess the straps just pass through. And this is just enough to keep, it's not that thick, but it's enough to keep a newborn in place because this is actually pretty big. So in the instruction book, it actually gives some important warnings. Basically, they list the maximum weight as 25 pounds or 11.3 kilograms, and the maximum age as 6 months. And it says on top of that, do not use the MamaRoo once your child can sit up unaided or attempts to climb out regardless of weight or age. So even if your kid's only 4 months and he's already sitting up, there's a danger, I guess, that he can slip out of this and it'll be risky, so you're supposed to stop using it. So while that's great that they have a very clear warning, it's actually also kind of disappointing because if I had bought this and paid $200 and he can't use it past 6 months, I'd be a little bit disappointed, especially in the case of our kid who's only coming here at the age of 3 months and so he would only have gotten 3 months of use out of this thing. So if I paid $200 US for it and only could use it for 3 months, that's actually pretty expensive. Luckily, we got this secondhand from a friend who pretty much had the same situation, where they got it for their newborn, and by the time their kid was 6 months, couldn't use it anymore, so they pass it off to us. So probably I'll just re-gift this to someone else 3 months from now. So anyway, this is the basics. Let's get it powered up and give it a try. Okay, so I've got this thing powered up, and I'll show you the controls. It's key to note that this thing actually has speakers as well and can play music or background sounds while this is in operation. And so first, let's demonstrate the motion. So there's basically 5 options for the different motion paths: car ride, kangaroo, tree swing, rockabye, and wave. And I think the names are descriptive enough you can pretty much figure out what they do. So let's give it a try. Let's switch to, this is car ride, and it sort of does, I guess, a figure 8 motion. This is kangaroo, so it's sort of bouncing up and down, left and right at the same time. This is tree swing, so it's kind of a U. So I don't have a baby here yet, but I do have someone to stand in for him, who is Kevin of the Minions. And let's just put him in here and see how he looks. So you can also adjust the intensity. As you can see, this is all the way up. The motion at this point becomes pretty active. So this would be equivalent of like bouncing your kid in your hands, in your arms. I suppose if your baby's really worked up, this might be good, but it probably makes it hard for him to sleep. I guess I'll have to test it out. But that's, of course, the most intense. You can make it much more subtle. So as you can hear, it does make some noise. It's not silent, that's for sure. It's not nearly as loud as, say, if your washing machine is running, even if it's in the other room. But it's more than a ceiling fan, or we have a dehumidifier going right now, which is just sort of a white background noise. This is definitely a little bit more intense than that, especially when you get up to the max. So, but again, at a more reasonable setting, it's not too bad. So again, that's the left controller, and if you want to stop, you just hold it down for 3 seconds, and it comes to a stop, and it powers off. And then just touch it once to get it back on, and I guess click and it goes back into the program mode that you had it in. Now let's show the sound. So there's actually 4 choices here, as well as auxiliary line in. So we have rain, fan, ocean, and heart sounds, which are sort of preset. And I have to say, I haven't been that impressed. So you just click on it and this turns it on. So here's some rain sounds. That's supposed to be a fan. It sounds more like, I don't know, like a blowtorch or something. It might just be the volume is too high. The ocean sounds. So that might not be too bad, especially if it turned down lower. There's also heart sounds. Last but not least, we have the auxiliary selection, which allows you to play music from the line in or through Bluetooth, and there's actually a small Bluetooth logo here, which you may be able to see. But overall, with the sounds, I have to say, especially some of these guys, I don't know what kind of baby is going to be happy with that, even at the low settings. Maybe this speaker is not so good. Maybe I got a bad speaker or something, but this one sounds like crashing waves. I have to say I'm not too impressed by the sound quality. We'll have to see. Maybe my son is less picky than I am, but especially that fan one is totally useless. And even for the heart one, there's just so much static coming through here. between heartbeats. I don't know why you would want to listen to that much. So anyway, let's give it a try on the Bluetooth and see if that's any better. But these built-in ones, not too impressive. Okay, so I downloaded the 4Moms app from the App Store. This is the iOS version. I think they have an Android as well. And you can choose which product you have. We have the MamaRoo. So let's just follow the instructions. Searching, okay. Have to turn on Bluetooth, which we can do pretty easily. Okay, Bluetooth is on. Hold down the button for 3 seconds. That's the sound button. So 1, 2, 3. And there's actually kind of a blinking thing here on the logo saying it's pairing, and it looks the same here now. Pairing successful. Okay. So now we get to see actually the same selection. So let's give it a try. And the cool thing on this one is actually animated, so you can see the motion a little bit better. So this one really is a figure 8. This one really is kind of bouncing back and forth. Here's the tree swing. Rockabye is kind of a reverse. And the wave is just a circle. And you can do the intensity. So that's pretty good. I guess the cool thing is you could be, on the couch reading, and you can just adjust this as it goes without having to get up and walk over and maybe disturb your baby. Now let's go to the music. So here's those built-in ones again. Ooh, horrible. Ooh. I don't know what kind of fan that is. Okay, so one surprise here is, in addition to these sounds, the last choice is auxiliary, but it says connect MP3 device to MamaRoo. So in other words, you need to actually plug in through the cable in order to do it. You can't do it through Bluetooth. So to me, this seems like a real big screw up. Like, why would you have a Bluetooth-enabled app to control it that doesn't also allow you to play your music via Bluetooth? I go through the trouble of connecting to this thing by Bluetooth, and you don't even turn on the speaker part, the music part. To me, this is a real screw up and a big drawback for this device. If you're going to go through the trouble of making a Bluetooth app, and the device already has a thing for auxiliary input of music, why would you not have it play the music on your phone through Bluetooth, which you're already connecting anyway? So to me, like, why would I even want to connect this? If I was connected through auxiliary, I would not need an app to do that. I would just plug it in and turn it on. It really defeats the purpose. If I have this thing connected to this by a cable, then why do I need a smartphone app to control it? Or if I want to use a smartphone app to control it from away from the device, does that mean I have to have a second phone or an extra MP3 player just dedicated to this? Okay, so to wrap up, assembly, pretty easy. Operation, pretty easy as well, the controls and all that. The app itself is okay. The fact that it can't play the music on your phone via Bluetooth, even though it's a Bluetooth-enabled app, and the device itself has an auxiliary input for playing your music through it, kind of really sucks. Also, again, the speakers, not too impressive. The preloaded sounds, kind of horrible, actually. I'm not sure how much we're going to use that. Maybe I'll just play directly from my phone speaker instead of trying to use the speakers in here. Probably a better idea anyway. One other thing, that it has this kind of arm which hangs over with the dangling stuff. You can see it over there. To me, it felt kind of cheap and pretty easy to get knocked around. So I'm not sure if we're actually going to even use that one. But luckily, it comes off pretty easily. So we'll have to see. Overall, it does what it advertises, which is, rock your baby back and forth. It's a little bit noisy in the higher settings, but as you can tell with the low settings on, it's actually almost silent. And I'm sure the baby won't mind too much. So as you can see, my minion here is enjoying it. So looking forward to getting my actual son in this thing and see how he likes it. Worst case scenario, at least we have a baby chair to put him in. in the living room. Okay, so that's my review of the MamaRoo by 4Moms. If you have one of these and you have any feedback or if you have any questions, please leave a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe as well. And thanks to all the people who subscribed so far and given us feedback. It's great to see that some people are actually enjoying my videos. So anyway, catch you next time. Okay, so that's the Takara Tomy one-way baby monitor with night lamp and with this cool visual volume.